Let's talk about some examples to barriers to entry. So we have a bunch of different options here, and we're going to discuss whether each one is a barrier to entry, and if so, whether it's government enforced or not. The first one is an invention that has a patent. If it has a patent, that means that no one else can make that product based on your invention. This is a barrier to entry. Moreover, it is government enforced. The government has this system, and it is the government who tells other people you can't do this. Secondly, a popular restaurant recipe. Though it is popular, it's probably very easily accessible, and there is nothing stopping someone from replicating that recipe. So this is actually not a barrier to entry. A recipe being popular doesn't stop anyone from replicating it. The next one. An industry where economies of scale are very small. This is also not a barrier to entry. Usually, if these economies of scale were big, we would have a monopoly barrier to entry, not a government enforced one. But in this case, the economies of scale are really small, so it's not going to be impossible for other people to join this market. A well-established reputation for slashing prices in response to new entries. This is going to be a barrier to entry. People are going to be afraid to join this market because they know that as soon as they do, the other company can slash down prices because, again, their production costs are going to be really low, especially if it's a really a really big company, right? So a really big company with really low production costs can be a monopoly and charge really high prices. And if someone comes in, they can say, well, I'm just going to decrease price by a lot until the other company goes out of business. So this is not government enforced. This is a barrier to entry. A well-respected brand name that has been carefully built up over many years. Definitely not government enforced, and we have to think about whether this is a barrier to entry. This is not a barrier to entry. The brand name can be very well respected over many years, but someone else can always join the market and compete, right? That's how new companies can rise up and compete. Startup companies tend to do this, right? They're competing against companies that have been there for a very long time. For example, before Amazon came about, eBay was popular, right? And Amazon was not very well known. Started out, I think, as a book rental place, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it didn't stop them from competing. So I would say that easier to enter.